0 hour strikes, the clock ticks down. Rise from the ashes, wear your crown. No fear, no chains, break the mold, forge your destiny, fierce and bold.
All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome to 0 Hour. And not exactly sure where our special guest is. We'll kick them in when they get in. But till that point, you're stuck with the three of us. So,
Yep.
I'm Mark, and I'm half-ass ready. Take it away, OVP. Who are you?
I'm OVP, and yeah, I'm about half-ass ready too. Hey, we do what we can, right?
Yeah, there you go. Well, Rural?
Yep, that is me. I am rural, and I'm just happy to be there. I love that intro song. That gets me pumped. I'm singing along.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. Me and you both. Yeah, I love it. Hello, Granny. Hey, Cha-Cha, good to see you. Billy, Dusty Country Road, JS Genesis, Katrinka, I know you were here way early, and I know you're sleepy, so I'm glad you're here. Big Dusty. Who all's in here? Scott Hummer. Hello, buddy. And hey, Grit and Grace. Good to see y'all. Hope your live went well. I got to tell you, I was all excited. Even told my son about it, and I got home, and by 8:05, I was asleep on the couch. So
It did go well, actually.
yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad it did, and yes, I see Reba has showed up too.
Yeah,
so.
she got a haircut, so she looks like half.
Oh.
I sent a whole dog to the groomer, and I got half a dog back.
Well, aren't you
Oh.
pretty?
So
Aren't
little
you
squishy
pretty?
face puppy.
Where'd you go? Where'd the rest of you go?
So it left it on the floor and got swept up with the broom.
Oh yeah, I put a little short out. They put a little outfit on her for Valentine's Day. The groomers, they're nice people.
Yeah. Hello, Dan H.
And the
Hey,
man,
still a tree, Eric. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Really, hey, Kay, good to see you too. So even if Leonard Mountain Homestead shows up, if Chris and Amy get here, I had a few things. Carolina Country Homestead, and it's good to have you here tonight. I love it when you can show up, and I love you when you don't show up. So you know what I mean. But I just had a little plan. I was sitting here getting ready for the broadcast, and we were talking backstage, and I said, we talk about prepping all the time. We talk about life all the time, and I just wrote down a few things, and I thought I would tell a little story on why these things popped into my mind, and then just see what OVP and Rural 2IC had to say about it, and see what y'all had to say about it in the chat. I had a lot of life events, not necessarily in my life this week, last couple of weeks, but life events in my tribe and people I love. I've noticed some things lately. I'll just start at the top of the list because really has no rhyme or reason to it. But so I noticed folks that work with me, for me, around me, whether they're at work or whether they're at home, keep noticing that they have these terrific tragedies trying to get to work on time, or they've had to move, and 2 hours before the deadline for them to get out of their home, they can't get a U-Haul truck, even though they've known they had to move for 60-something days.
Mhm.
So, I wrote down planning. And that's all I wrote. I wrote planning, and because these things were on my mind, more than one of these situations. And we talk about pace planning, and we talk about we make these bingo predictions so that we can plan for them. Yes, I mean that's why we do those things. But I'm just I don't know if I can preach about pace planning anymore. I just think we need to make a damn plan. Yeah, yes. And if you know things are coming up in your daily life, we're not talking about SHTF. We're talking about if you don't have a job, that's going to create a SHTF really fast for you. So we're talking about taking care of your job, right? And being on time and being prepared to do your job is pretty important to maintaining and keeping that said job. It's important to maintaining and keeping a relationship. It's important to maintaining and keeping your family safe, right?
Yep.
So, have a plan. So, am I wrong? What do you think, OVP?
No,
where's your head at with that? Is this happening in your life?
Not to me, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, there's people like that roll into work at the last possible second. I'm always there. I'm like a half an hour early. Like when I leave, I could probably walk and get there in time, just because I hate being late. Now I wouldn't say that's a part of my preparedness plan. That's just a personality trait. Like I hate being late. I have to be there early. It's just how I've always been. So, but yeah, and it's procrastinate. People wait till the last second to do anything. The same thing with the snowstorms come through. Okay. They'll tell you for 2 weeks, this big snowstorm's coming. And everybody waits until an hour before it starts snowing. And then they go and there's 5,000 people shoved in Walmart, trying to grab stuff when they've known for 2 weeks it's going to snow. There's a snowstorm coming, and it just, people wait till the last second to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't understand it. I really don't, but that's just because I've never been that way. But
right. Yeah.
I don't like to wait till the last minute to do anything.
You think OVP might need to plan on getting attacked by a cat here in a second, Rural?
Yeah, maybe. Bubbles, I don't know. She's been ornery today. What are you doing?
Rural, I know you've got opinions on this.
Oh, Earl's got opinions on everything.
I know that.
So, twofold. One, you've got to do your maintaining. So you know what you need, right? You've got to have your job, so you got to maintain that. You've got to maintain your bills. You got to maintain your food, your family, your friends, yourself, your spiritual self. Like all of that needs attention, and that's up to you to be able to prioritize and divide all that out. But it goes into the other thing. Like an SHTF situation can be that 2 a.m. phone call that one of your loved ones just got into an accident. Guess what we got? We got a bug out bag, right? You got that SHTF bag that you run out the door. It's got a change of clothes. It's got a phone charger. It's got $20 in ones. It's got the little things you need.
Right.
So you don't have to panic and freak out. You grab it and go.
Right. Yeah. No. And I like what Mike said, and I appreciate you, Mike. My plans aren't your plans, and your plans aren't my plans, and your plan may not work for me.
Nope.
But I just find it frustrating, I guess.
Oh, yep.
That a situation in your daily life that should not cause panic, right? Should not cause panic because you simply don't look any farther than the end of your nose. Yeah. Everything's going to go, when you go to bed at night, everything's going to go smooth tomorrow. And we all know that's not going to happen, right? No. It's not going to happen. When a damn school bus can cause you to be an hour late for work, or completely ruin your day. And it's so funny how tender people are now. Mm-hmm. If one little thing don't go the way you think it should go, you just it just ruins your whole day. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so many people too. So I'm not normally out in the morning, right? So, but I had to take this one to her grooming appointment Friday morning because I work 410s and I'm off on Friday. So, yeah, she does need her own YouTube channel. So anyway, so I'm out driving over to the groomers at 8 o'clock in the morning when everybody's going to work. And the people that are just flying and weaving in and out of traffic and blowing their horn because they're, they got a minute to spare to get there. And I'm thinking, what is going on around here? Because when I go to work, I take my time. If I need to stop somewhere, I stop. I got plenty of time because I leave early enough that I have plenty of time. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy the rush everybody's in because they can't plan on being there 5 minutes earlier. It's insane.
Well, it's what causes all the road rage and shit that goes on.
Yeah. Yep.
Your lack of planning has made an FHTF situation for somebody else.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. And there was we went into emergency mode. It was an automatic. Sure, Katrinka, and it look, it is for people who plan. It is for people who are prepared. It's an automatic thing. It's why those people in your life, you're the person they call when the world comes to an end. You know what I mean? You're the guy they call when whatever happens, right? Their whole planning, But again, that kind of leads me into the next story, question, discussion, whatever. So Saturday, I attended a funeral of a 33-year-old man who I've known a long time, who was sick a long time. His illness finally got him, but I was talking with my loved ones here at home before we went to the service, and talking about him, and the things I said, they just echoed and echoed and echoed through this whole entire service. One of the coolest funeral services I've ever been to. But it just leads me to the next comment, and we'll go with it from there. It's just living your best life. Mm-hmm. This young man had a terrible pain, terrible things that prevented him from doing everything you and I do. Right. He did a lot of the things you and I do, even though they caused him very much discomfort. But this kid lived his best life. Right. So I want to live my best life. I want to be better. I want to be positive. I want to leave the world a better place than it is, So you want to live your best life, Earl?
Absolutely. And it's crazy. And I'll be brief with mine. You go through your life, you go through and watch your friends, your loved ones, and the people you care about. Sometimes you watch perfect strangers and whatnot. And you do, you're inside your character. You are a good person, and you try your best, right? You try your best to be a good person in general, to strangers, to loved ones, to friends. At work, you try and be a good employee and whatnot. And it's always an event or a person. And I tell you, for me and the new woman in my life, I have never wanted to be a better person in my life. Every inspiration of I wasn't doing anything near what I needed to be doing, right? I want to elevate every aspect of my life because it's not up to the standard of where I need to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're all falling short of that glory, and I, just the human, it's the earthly side of us. I mean, you have to, I think you have to touch a little deeper on your spiritual side.
Yep.
In order to achieve any semblance of that on earth. What do you think, OVP?
Yeah, I mean, I try to, if you see me in the chats, everybody's live streaming that, I'm usually joking around and messing. I try not to take things too serious and get yourself in a bad mood because, the world's crazy right now. And if you listen to all the stuff, you can put yourself in a dark place, pretty easily. And I try not to let things bother me. And like I said, I try to joke around and have a good time because, there's a time to get serious. And when that time comes, then, we'll get serious. But we're not there yet. So, and I'm going to do a lot of things this year that I didn't do last year that I just didn't have time for. I like to fish. I love to fish. So I'm going to be doing a lot of fishing this year.
Hoorah.
And I may film some of them. We might have some fishing videos. Who knows? I thought I can always take the tripod out, set it up while I'm fishing, and so.
Well, yeah, man. You got look, and you got to take some time for you, man. Everybody in the chat, everybody within earshot of what I'm saying, you got to take some time for you. I mean, yeah, and. Yeah, I love him too, Katrinka. Yeah, Rural's a deep guy. He's a deep thinker, and that's cool. I am too. I try to keep a lot of what's been going on with me the last couple of weeks is inside and off the airwaves, but it's just been kind of been building. And I was telling the guys backstage, I sat down probably 3 times, maybe more this weekend to drop a video, and I just couldn't. It was just too much inside, and I was afraid I would regurgitate all of this on y'all, and that's not good. So, I mean, I don't need to hold it in, but I don't need to just regurgitate. And I know how I am when I get, y'all see me when I get on the box and start preaching, it just goes. And I was afraid that would happen, and I'd have to edit for like 2 hours. So, all right, along the same lines. So, do you make yourself disposable? And what I mean by that, where I'm going with this, when you see the end of a life so young and other people in my life who are facing the end of their life at a young age, and is it possible to make yourself disposable? What I mean is, I don't want to leave anybody that I don't think can go on without me. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying, but do we make ourselves disposable? Is it possible? Is it necessary? Are they going to learn when you're gone all on their own? What do you think, OVP? Do you make yourself disposable?
I mean, we it's not like we get to pick when we go. So we talked a little bit about this backstage. So I'll give you a good story. Well, I'll give everybody else a good story. You guys heard it, but
yeah, go buddy.
Yeah. So my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, her brother had a brain tumor, and I'm pretty sure they were like early to mid 20s, right? And he was married, just had a little baby. I mean, little baby, and there was nothing they could do. They said there's nothing we could do for you, and they gave him like 6 months or a year to live, which he made it a little farther than that. But he spent his last days actually finding a new husband for his wife and a new father for his new baby. And, I mean, I think we'd all like to think that we could man up and do something like that, but they were really young too. I mean, it's not like they were our age. That would have been, maybe a different story. Like I said, they were early to mid 20s. And she had her whole life ahead of her, and then she had a brand new baby. And so that's just something that, I mean, yeah, okay. He didn't want them to go on without him or without anybody. He wanted there to be somebody there to take care of them after he was gone. So, and I thought that was really cool. So
yeah, I agree with that. That is pretty cool. What do you think, Roland? Can we? Should we? Do we?
Yes. I mean, what his story was, there's absolutely not a single chance in ever-loving hell that I would do that.
Right.
So I get it. What Grace said, that takes a special kind of person, but that is not me. But yes, we all have an expiration date, right? And
Right.
when you get into any sort of relationship, period, especially when it involves kids, that's something that you have to plan for, right?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You're going to get an active shooter. You're going to get a brain aneurysm. You're going to get, T-boned by a semi. Something's going to happen, and you've got to make sure that you're building a legacy. Your relationship is all about the two of you building together, and that is building assets and squirreling away a savings and making sure you have your insurance and having all that, having a last will, having all that stuff set to keep them out of court, so that way their life can continue, because you are biblically commanded to provide, and you need to provide after death. Death is not an excuse for you to just, oh, sorry guys.
That kind of goes back to that planning thing we were talking about, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know Rural said, that I'm not that kind of guy, but if something like that happened and you had a wife and a young, the baby was like, I don't know, a few months old and you had time to think about it. Okay. Because, the things that you're talking about is, if you get T-boned by somebody, well, that's instant. Okay. Now
you're thinking about that.
You've got time, you go, okay, I'm not going to be here much longer, but I have some time to take care of some things before then. You might change your mind.
Nope, not a chance. Ain't gonna happen. Nope. Because here's my thing. I actually sent this to the girlfriend where it says, what would you remarry? And the guy literally slung her over the shoulder and was taking her everywhere because she was playing dead. I was like, we're weekend at burying this. You're not allowed.
Yeah. No, that's funny. That's so funny. That you hit on it though, Rule. I knew that because I did that in my life just recently. After my heart problems, my wife and I did exactly what you're talking about very recently. But and what you hit on, OVP, your kids, man. When you're your children's buddy, right? When you're your children's friend and you enable your children to not be grown-ups, right?
Yep.
And I know it's a lot different world growing up now than it was when I grew up. It's a lot different world growing up now than when you grew up. It's a lot different world. I know it's a different world, but you still owe it to your children to not be their buddy, but to be their parent, right? Mm-hmm. To be their guide, to be their mentor, to be their inspiration.
Yep.
And generational wealth is dying in this country. Mm-hmm. And if you have any, yes, you need to be 100% proactive in preventing the courts from taking that from your children, right? I mean, if you have any generational wealth. And a lot of folks don't. But no, that was well said, both of y'all. I mean, again, it's so funny. And this happens to me all the time. People say something, and maybe I've already did it, or maybe it just makes perfect sense, right? It's like, why didn't I think of that? Mm-hmm. That is so easy. What Rural just said. That is so easy what OVP just said. Why the hell didn't I think of it?
Well, and that's why we do this.
Yeah.
We get everybody's point of view and you go, wow, that's something I never thought of. It's not that we're dumb or anything like that. It just never crossed our mind, and somebody says it and you're like, that makes perfect sense.
Yes. Yeah. Why didn't I think that's so easy?
Yeah. And that's why we watch other people's channel, like Mike and Vision and the rest of these, Orlando Prepper, and I could go on and on.
Oh, yeah. We got lots of them we look at.
Yeah. Grit and Grace. Oh, congratulations to Grit and Grace. She had 1,000 subscribers last night. She's killing it.
Outstanding.
Killing it.
I'm proud to say I was in the first couple of hundred, though. I'm glad for Grace. I swear to goodness, I missed that live because I told everybody, I'm like, hey, man, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
9 o'clock. Yeah, I was going to watch hockey and all that. Well, boom, gone. Me and the pit bull snoring, baby.
I actually took a little nap, but I set my alarm to make sure I was up to catch Grace's live. Of course, I woke up before that.
I fell asleep before I could set an alarm. So,
I
had no plans. I had poured a cup of coffee, right? And it was still almost full when I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's a sin.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Well, I put it in the microwave. I didn't.
Oh, okay. All right.
But, like I said, and it was, but yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it, Grace. I promise. When I had to watch the race and USA hockey again tonight. So before I go to bed, I'm going to watch it. Hi, Rita. But
hi, Chewy.
Yeah. Well, JD.
Okay. Anybody else want to get in tonight?
Yeah, really.
Hi, Chewy. Yeah, Reaver was already in.
JD, I do have a notepad while I'm conducting a live stream anyway. So, but anyway.
And Bubbles hanging out up there.
But so back into the game here.
Grace said hi,
where are we at time wise? I haven't looked at time.
We're halfway through.
Oh, we got
plenty of time.
Hi,
well, I don't want to run out of shit before we get to the end. So
we can talk all night. You know how
I know that.
We'll be all right.
I just wanted to say I missed you guys.
Well, we miss you too, dear. But look, we're not missing you now. You showed up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Billy said hi.
Hi, Billy.
But so
and James.
Hi, James. Now we'll let them talk.
Okay.
See you guys.
But
guest appearance.
My wife had this Trevette. Probably had it 20 years. It's, the thing you put a hot pot on, right? And I dropped it and I broke it. And she bought a new one and it's pretty cool too and all that. So, but I'm looking at this thing. I didn't throw it away because, we don't throw anything away.
I tried to open both sides.
Because we're preppers / hoarders, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're hoarders?
Well, there's a thin line. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if I've crossed it yet, but I've got to be getting close. So when you don't throw away a damn Trevette, then anyway. So anyway, she says, I want to keep this because I like it because it has this stone granite piece of granite in the middle of it. And I didn't break the granite. I just broke the thing that holds the granite, right?
Did you ever give him one?
So
no.
So I take this thing and I go up in my wood shop and I break the rest of the plastic crap off of it and I build myself we are too. So I build a little wooden frame around it and I bring it back down. And my wife was very excited. She really loved it. And of course she has to say she loves it, but I think she really liked it. So, and after you've been together for 37 years, you honesty's the best policy. Mm-hmm. So there's nice ways to say, I didn't like that you made for supper, honey, but that gets to my next thing I wrote down. I said, use what you have, right? I realize that's a prepper mindset, but isn't it? I mean, use what you have. Doesn't that make a lot of financial common sense? I mean, doesn't it? What do you think there, Rule? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of where I'm going to be taking some new channel directives on some other stuff. And I kind of said this on Grace's Live. There's most people, 99% of people do not have an excuse not to do stuff. They're going to say, I don't have time. Well, that's better time management and planning. They're going to say, I can't financially do it. No, you just suck at being poor. Like, you can figure it out. There's yard sales. There's stuff. I just went the other day and got milk crates out of the trash. They were free. There's nothing wrong with them. And guess what? I'm going to use I'm gonna use a ton of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Using what you have. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, you're right. It's again, it goes right back to that planning thing, though.
Yep.
You know, that planning thing seems to keep popping back in, right? Right
Yeah.
over. What do you think? Use what you got.
And as preppers, I think we're all kind of masters of repurposing things.
Yes.
You know, like if you watched the video I did earlier in the week about my little personal boo-boo kit that I carry on me,
Yeah.
it's a gum container. I mean, it's my
I see.
wife chews gum when we go to church, and a little plastic container. The one time I said, you know what, when you empty that, save that for me, you know. And I made a little boo-boo kit out of it, you know, fits good in your back pocket. And yeah, so we're really good at refurbishing, reutilizing whatever we find, you know.
Yeah.
We don't look at things the same way as other people do.
Mhm.
No, I agree.
Other
with that.
people would just think, well, that's trash. It's empty. It's trash, you know. And we go, wait, what can I do with that? You know.
Yeah. Katrinka wants to know what kind of gum it was.
Watermelon.
No.
It was watermelon. Yeah.
She wants to make her own boo-boo kit.
Yeah. What was the brand of the gum?
What? It was water. What brand of gum was that you get, hon? Wrigley's.
Okay.
Yeah, it comes in a little. It's a plastic container. It's about yay square. You know, 76 pieces. Okay, yeah, it's just stick gum. Like I said, it fits good in your back pocket, or if you're female, you got a purse, or if you're female, you wear jeans. It fits in your back pocket. You put it, you know, whatever. And you could do other things with it too, not just a boo-boo kit, but
Sure. Well, having been a scoutmaster for 12 years, in order to earn the first aid merit badge, which is an Eagle requirement, you have to make your own personal first aid kit. And it's just a boo-boo kit. It's not,
yeah.
not a prepper kit. But when I was Boy Scouting, y'all remember, some of y'all are old enough to remember the plastic kits that we used to buy to put a cigarette pack in, right?
Mhm.
You slid over the top, and it had a little space for a book of matches, so you didn't crush your cigarettes or get them really, really wet, right?
Yep.
Well, I know you don't find those anymore, but they still make these boxes that you put a bar of soap in.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them at the dollar store
Mm-hmm.
for $1.
Mhm.
Buck and a quarter. I think the dollar store's $1.25 now.
Yep.
But anyway, you can use these to make a boo-boo kit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I've seen them. It's probably about the same size, roughly, as that. It's a little skinnier, but a little thicker, you know. But yeah,
they actually. In fact, I have the one that I made. Yeah, Black Cat, baby, Black Cat.
that's my little felon, Bubbles. She's always up to something.
But I have mine in my go bag.
Well, and that's a cheap organizer, like what Grace there said. A little sewing kit, a
Yep.
fishing kit, your boo-boo kit. Put your snacks in there. Put that as an extra phone charger or your money. Like you can have a bag, you know, a little sling bag or a messenger bag or something, and make little tiny kits. So that way they're nice, and you can color code them, right? You can get a
Yep.
white one for this and the blue one,
Yep.
and you can know what's in there, and for cheap.
Yeah. You could take a white one and a red Sharpie and put a big
It's
first
cheap.
aid cross on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you can even use it for like your little fire starters. You make little fire starters,
Sure.
right? Stick them in there, you know. So
And
yeah, there's countless things you could do with something like that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you know, talking about a sewing kit, you go on Amazon, any of those websites. The military, if you happen to be near a military base, the military makes a tiny sewing kit
Mhm.
and we had to have one when we were in boot camp, right? So, and those little sewing kits have needles, everything you need. They even have a thread starter, all that stuff in them, and little things of thread that are the proper color for your uniform. But again, those little sewing kits, and they will actually fit in your first aid kit. In mine, I have one. Well, I have like 10 of them. You know, we when you're a scoutmaster, you do a lot of patching and sewing things, And so, but that's so funny, talking about Boy Scouts. My son, when he was in boot camp,
Booby camp.
he got a stripe for being an Eagle Scout, but he was like the den mother to all those guys in there because he was the only one who knew how to sew. And you want to get your ass chewed in Marine Corps boot camp, show up with a button missing, right? You might die. That's a good one too, Mike. Yeah, Altoid tins. Yeah, they're great. They're great for a lot of things. In fact, the Altoid tin's great to make char cloth with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Altoid tins are awesome. Good point, Mike. Yeah, that's you're right, Eric. That's yes. You can. I've seen 100 videos on how to make fire starters, but you're right. Buy a Duraflame log, cut it up, and you don't have to make anything. Duraflame log cost you about $4, I think.
Yeah,
but using what you have. That's using what you have. That's a prepper mindset, and it's so funny. It's so funny. We just preach to the choir. If there are any new people in the chat who have a legitimate prepping question, please ask it. We're kind of off our normal format tonight because I don't know. I'm decided to screw everything up. But if you have a legitimate prepping question, these are the people in the chat to ask. We actually have some very good preppers in the chat. We've got some old OG preppers in the chat. Mike at Hudson Valley, he learned from the original OG preppers. Grant and Grace, they're homesteaders, but they're also wonderful preppers. So there are several people who, I like that too, Eric. Go to that hits back on what Earl was saying. That financial excuse it sucks. Yeah. You just can't use it, man.
And back to what Steel and Tree Eric was saying, I love going to yard sales for prepping items because there's all kinds of things you can find that they only want $1 or $5 or and especially like estate sales when somebody passes away and they don't know what grandpa had stuffed in the garage or whatever, so they're just like, I don't know, just get rid of it. So yard sales, flea markets, stuff like that are awesome places to look for things like that you can get cheap, or at least a lot less than you'd pay at the retail store for it.
Again, man, this, and we talk about hand tools. I got a whole video about hand tools. Y'all probably do too. I'm sure most of the content creators in the chat have one about hand tools, right? Great place to pick up hand tools.
Yeah.
Great place. Garage sales, flea markets, yard sales. Just, in fact, a guy down the street from me passed away recently, had an estate sale, and he was a machinist.
Okay.
And dude, he had some wicked cool tools in his, wicked cool. And of course, I didn't buy them. Some of them were very specialty tools, but and finding cast iron stuff, great place to find it too. Another good one.
Yep.
Like I said, Mike's been doing this a long time. I know I'm not educating him on nothing. So.
Right. Yeah.
But
but like I said, I love when spring hits and the yard sales start coming up and things like that. And I'll leave for work early just to kind of go maybe different routes every day to see if there's a yard sale,
Well, yeah, you see a sign, it catches your attention. So, So, and I know we as some of us on this panel have been beaten up for the next thing I wrote down.
Oh, here we go.
but I'm gonna say it anyway because, quite honestly, I have way too many people in my life who want to know why I prep and what's going on in Minneapolis or what's going on in Las Vegas or what's going on in Tucson. You're a funny guy, Mike. Mike, you're a funny guy, dude. I appreciate you though, dude. I really do. I don't know if I tell you that enough. You have a really good channel, and you and all your lives with the Horsemen and We All Gonna Die Wednesday. Y'all are really hitting on what I'm getting ready to say. So keep up with current events, right? Look, I don't think you have to camp on Newsmax or CNN every damn day.
Nope.
But so just let me tell you what really, let me tell you the story on why, because this one snuck up on me, okay? My wife come to me. So she finds out that we have a person running for our state Senate office who, up until January, was a registered Democrat. Now he's a registered Republican. And so after some more research my wife does, we find out that there's 6 other state offices in North Carolina that have the same thing going on. And apparently it's a nationwide thing that they're starting this dishonesty, especially in your state and local offices. Right? So to me, it's important, and it is. I know that all 3 of us here and most of the people in chat, we do a pretty good job of keeping up with what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
But do you really know who you're voting for in your county commissioner's office, right? Do you get the list from your local election board, the ballot early and print it and actually go and Google these people's names? Because you may be voting for a Republican or a Democrat or an independent who may be a wolf in sheep's clothing. You may be driving into a Trojan horse situation. So, I know this is personal for you, OVP. What do you think about keeping up with current events?
Well, yeah, I definitely keep up with current events. Now, if you want to go with the voting thing, well, my opinion on that might be a little different. I honestly don't think it matters who you vote for because I don't think it counts. Even when it comes down to your city council, the business owners pick the city councilmen. You can vote you'll never see the votes. They can make up the numbers. It's not like you get to go in and count them yourself. And I completely believe that they know who the next 2 or 3 presidents are going to be already. So I don't vote because I don't think it matters. But now as far as current events goes, well, yeah, because you got to know what's coming. If you know what's going on, you can kind of at least get a general idea of what might be coming down the pipe that you can prepare for. This whole X-Files thing, we'll call it the X-Files thing that's going on right now. Well, I don't know what's going to come of all of that. It's getting pretty dicey in other parts of the world, but it's been pretty mellow here so far. So I don't know what's going to come of all of that, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on because things might get a little crazy, So yeah, current events I think it's important. I know there's people out there that don't think it's important, but yeah, I definitely think it's important to keep up with even global events because, if a big war is going to kick off, it would be nice to at least see it coming a little bit,
Sure. No, I'm with you. I try to keep up with global events.
Yeah.
But, again, I very much so try to keep up with my local news. I mean,
yeah,
I like to know when they're if ever going to finish Interstate 26. So, I mean, they've only been working on it since I was in high school.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with Interstate 77 here where I live.
Really?
That's been the orange barrel shuffle for, I don't know, 30 years. Or they might get a section done, they move to another section, then they go back to the section before. So never ending construction project.
Oh, that's interesting, J-Man. So, yeah, J-Man and I live in the same county. So,
Yeah.
He's actually part of my tribe. So,
And some of us have met J-Man. Well, me and Whirl have. And is there anybody in the chat? Maybe somebody in the chat.
Super good dude. I'm really hoping he decides to run for county commission because I'd like to vote for him one of these days. But he's kind of like me. Way too many skeletons in the closet. Of course, I don't really care if all y'all know all my dirty laundry, but
Well,
J-Man is a much more private person than I am. So
can't be as many skeletons as there are in some closets. So
Right. Right.
Will, I know
nowadays, whatever skeletons you have might look mild.
Yeah.
So,
Rural, I know you. How do you feel about the current events thing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm with you on global and regional, local. Like, it's your mindset. You can take and look at different things, and I challenge a lot of people. Do two things. One, when you read a news story, take out specific names and see if it changes your opinion, because you start getting emotion involved when you start getting names and things like that. But the second thing is, if you go watch a protest, you can look at it and you can get emotionally involved and you can root for it. You can root against it. You can start doing all the it's wrong, it's right, all this. I look at it from, hey, if SHTF happens, look how they fortified that. Look how they're using weapons. Look how they're fighting against it. Look how, like, I have gone through and, how have they funneled people? And I start using it as training.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Again, it's just important not to get blindsided when you're a prepper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have enough stuff. Hell, even the weather events that we have.
yep.
I mean, and look, I realize they foobarred this ice storm, snowstorm, crap, something terrible down here, and everybody, oh, damn, we'll listen to the weather. Okay, but this hurricane stuff, man, they're pretty solid. Not on predicting how many storms, they suck at that.
Yeah.
But when one's coming, man, and they're flying those airplanes through them, they're pretty spot on about where it's going to hit, severity, whatnot. So you should maybe prepare a little for that. Yeah. And I mean, it was like here, I mean, during Helene, I mean, they told us, we had like two storms that actually merged into Helene when it came up. So we actually had 3 days of storm. They got worse in severity from Wednesday to Friday, but they told us that. They said that. And yet on Saturday, when the sun came out, there were people trying to cross a swollen river to get to the local grocery store to get a bag of potato chips. And they had them on TV showing it. I'm just saying.
But did they need a bag of potato chips?
Yes.
They shouldn't have.
Or is this like natural selection kind of working itself out?
Well, that's.
I mean, it's a bag of potato chips. It's not life-saving. It's not like you were going to starve to death without a bag of potato chips.
Yeah, but it all comes back around because that person that is self-selecting, nature, reverse Darwinism, whatever you want to call it, somebody cares about them. And then they're going to snap and they're going to go do something to somebody else and they're going to do something and it's going to come back to affect you. Like everything's interconnected. That's why I keep telling, go hold the door open for somebody. You don't know what that random act of kindness is going to do to counter all this.
Yep. That's a good point.
No, yeah, no, you're right, and again, I think that a big part of why people put themselves in these danger zones during this situation is because of the planning thing we talked about. And then you look around and your children, your wife, your whatever need something and you panic.
Mm-hmm.
And you put yourself and your family in danger, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between needing something and wanting something. You know, if something like that's going on and you want a bag of potato chips, I think you can survive without them. You know, I wouldn't be going out after a bag of potato chips. I might be feeding for a bag of potato chips or something, but I'm not going after them. You know, I mean, it's all I got stuff here to eat. You know, I mean,
Eric, that's the life-saving part of that can of dip is other people's lives. Okay,
yeah,
because I'm telling you, I keep a little extra here, but in SHTF, if you have a scold, please do not let Mark know that you do because he's liable to storm your home. But
yeah,
no,
that's how I am with coffee. But I keep enough coffee here that, you know,
I'm sure I don't have enough coffee. But
yeah, if I can't go anywhere for a month,
most of the neighborhood will be safe on the coffee side for a minute. So, but you know, again, I love. Good night, Katrinka. Thank you for being here. And
yeah, good night,
yeah,
Katrinka.
You're a good girl, Grace. You're a good girl. You might be able to fend off a home invasion with a roll of skull, you know, or a carton of Marlboros, you know. Now, and again, that you know, we joke and kid and carry on, but you know, these are kind of barter items that,
yeah,
you know, those little vanity things could be big time, right, Earl?
It is, and I've actually been thinking about this for a while. For me, you know, I have my vaping thing. I'm working on it. I'm actually really, really close to quitting. For me, I don't know if I want to take that route of doing it. Like, yes, I think that you could use them as barter items or whatnot. The only problem that I start seeing as I go through it is I put myself in that situation. Because I'm trying to get off all my dependents, anything that's going to alter my way of thinking, my mood, any of that, because it's already going to be stressful. I already have my family depending on me. So I'm trying to get my best self, you know, for my family. But if it's like giving crack to a crackhead, right? Once somebody that smokes, drinks, any of that knows you have it, you just bartered with it. Now they're going to keep coming back, even though you tell them, dude, I ain't got no more.
Right. Well, and that's going to be the case barter, period. I mean, anything. But hopefully by the time we get to barter system, and Mike, we're going to get on your question because I like it.
Yeah.
But the barter system hopefully is going to come into play once we've eliminated the waterheads. Yeah. So maybe it'll just be the people still trying to survive. Maybe we'll be bartering things that'll help keep our community alive. You know what I mean? But Mike, I say immediately on that. I think you have to immediately start because these are finite things that you have stored.
Right.
So I think immediately. What do you think, OVP?
Yeah, especially up here. You know, if an SHTF situation would hit in, say, September, October. Okay, bubbles. You know, our growing season's about over. So, you know, we have to rely on what we have stocked up until we can start growing stuff next year, right? So you got to make sure you're going to get through the winter. Now, I don't think we'd have a problem doing that, but yeah, I think you should start rationing immediately because, and if something major, I mean, something big ever happens, you know, they say 90% wouldn't survive the first year. I'm thinking it wouldn't take near that long to get rid of probably 90% of them. So resupplying after, say, 6 months isn't going to be near as hard as it's going to be in the beginning. because the chuckleheads are going to weed themselves out pretty quick, so.
Mhm.
And by then you might be down to a lot of people that are thinking kind of along the same lines as you are, and you might start getting into the rebuilding process. So
yeah.
Yep.
But I
we-
definitely would start rationing from day one just to be
Yeah,
safe.
Where you go with that, Rural?
I'm going to differ.
Okay, good.
So, for me, the way that I'm going to do it is because you're not technically going to know the SHTF situation, right? So just because the cell phones go down or the electricity goes or whatever, it may come up in an hour, it may come up in 2 days, all that. I would kind of carry on. I think our plan right now is 72 hours, 3 days. And then for us, we would start prioritizing. So at least for us, I don't have enough capacity to keep all of my freezers going constantly and all that for a very long time. So frozens go first. All of my long-term stuff that's not ration, that's saved.
Right. Yeah, I like what you're saying there, Mike. That's 100%. 100%. I've look. Okay, so your plan is to deer hunt your way out of SHTF, and at least you have a plan. Okay, I'm not belittling your plans, but if you'll read 1 second after, and then 1 year after the book that comes after it, and you see the natural progression of how far you're having to roam to find that game. And we're talking about squirrels, rabbits, turkeys, deer, moose, elk, wherever you live, whatever you hunt. Okay, you're going to be down to hunting cats and dogs. Mm-hmm. Unless you are willing or able to go outside of your comfort zone. But yeah, I love that, Mike, because that's such a good point.
This one first.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But, I'm going to the Chinese joint tomorrow for lunch. But no, I'm just I love that point, and you read as many, and a lot of post-apocalyptic reading is entertainment, right? But if you read Dr. Forson's stuff 1 second after in those books, he's pretty spot on. He's a very intelligent man, and his job was he's the what if guy for NASA for years. He definitely understands progressive thinking and how it would progress. And and again, Mike, I don't have that option to bury things in the snow here. Y'all up north, y'all got a little more of an option for that.
Yep.
Here in the South, that's not an option for like me and Gulf Coast Prepper and Rabid Coyote and all of us who live in the South. But there are ways to preserve food and preserve meat, and we should be learning those things, because back to first 5 minutes of our show, planning, right? Planning. And again, throw out the damn pace plan. We're not even, I've talked about that till I'm blue in the face. So we're to have a damn plan. Any kind of plan pretty much covers everything we've talked about. I mean, you need to plan on dying, right? I mean, you need to plan on dying. We talked about that.
Yep.
So again, I'm not. Yeah. And I've actually talked to him a couple times myself, Mike. He's a super intelligent, very giving guy, and he's super intelligent. He lives here near us in Montreat, Black Mountain area, and what a super good guy and a good read. If any of y'all have never read that book, I suggest you read it. It will open your eyes about a lot of things, not just your prepping things, but the societal things that are going to happen, the medical things that are going to happen. He's very honest, I guess is the word about. He didn't sugarcoat anything in those books, and I know reading those books is one of the reasons my wife and I got into prepping to start with. And the fact that it takes place, and look, Black Mountain had their own SHTF when Helene come through. So it takes place right there in Black Mountain and Swannanoa. So, but yeah, he's a wonderful guy. I hope you do get him on, Mike. I will tune in for that, definitely. He is a super intelligent guy. So we have reached the point of ending. So I think I've talked enough tonight for the next 2 or 3 shows. So sorry our guest fell through, but we appreciate all y'all showing up. And I'm Mark, and I'm half-ass ready. And tell the ones you love that you love them. Rural, take it away.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my basic saying of be a man of your word. You're a woman of your word. You can have it to where, like what you guys were saying, you guys have been married for years and years, and you guys have a strong foundation you've been building. One lie can make that all come tumbling down.
Yes.
You cannot go through life and have that reputation to where you're a liar or you're not a man of your word or a woman of your word. You make a promise, keep your promise.
Love it. Love it. Tell everybody bye, OVP.
Well, we'll see everybody next week on Rural's channel, right?
Yep.
And guys, just keep learning as many skills as you can, because in the long run, you can store or hoard all the things you want to, but they're not gonna last forever. So learn some skills, learn how to forage, learn how to tie some knots, learn some things that are going to help you in the long run, and stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and don't wait. Start prepping now, because the world's on fire, and I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. So take care of the ones you love, and we will see you all next week.
Love it.
Goodbye, everybody. Say bye. Look, say bye.